On Friday, former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson shocked the nation by resigning from the legislature after learning he would face consequences for misleading Parliament. He resigned after launching a vicious tirade at his political rivals and his successor, Rishi Sunak, which may have stoked resentments within the ruling Conservative Party. Johnson resigned after learning the findings of a legislative investigation into false statements he had made to Parliament regarding Partygate, a series of illegal government parties during the pandemic. Johnson accused his detractors of trying to force him out in a lengthy resignation statement and made a hint that he might make a comeback. "At least for the time being, leaving Parliament is very sad," he said. Johnson claimed that he had received a letter from the Privileges Committee, making it clear much to my amazement that they are determined to use the proceedings against me to drive me out of Parliament. He referred to the panel looking into him as a kangaroo court. Johnson claimed that the prosecution's goal had been to convict him, regardless of the evidence from the start. Due to Johnson's resignation, a special election will be held to fill his seat in the London suburbs. After leading the Conservatives to a resounding victory in 2019, Johnson, whose career has been a roller coaster of scandals and comebacks, was ousted by his own party less than 3 years later. He had been anticipating the results of a House of Commons Standards Committee's inquiry into false claims he made to Parliament regarding a number of events in government buildings in 2020 and 2021 that violated pandemic lockdown guidelines. Johnson received one of the 126 fines that the police ultimately handed out over the late-night gatherings, drunken parties, and wine time Fridays, and the scandal hastened the end of his premiership. Johnson admitted to deceiving Parliament when he told lawmakers that no rules had been broken, but he insisted that he hadn't done so on purpose. He testified before the committee that he honestly believed the 5 gatherings he went to, including a send-off for a co-worker and his own unexpected birthday party, were lawful work gatherings meant to boost morale among overworked employees dealing with a deadly pandemic. In the coming weeks, the committee was supposed to release its report, and if Johnson was found to have lied on purpose, he might have been expelled from the House of Commons. By resigning, he avoids a suspension in which his constituents might have forced him out of the Commons, freeing him to run for office once more. His letter of resignation gave the impression that he was considering it. It was harshly critical of Sunak, who ran the Treasury Department in Johnson's administration before defecting in July 2022, along with a large number of other ministers' resignations that led to Johnson's resignation. This majority is clearly in jeopardy just a few years after being elected with the largest margin in nearly 50 years, according to Johnson. Our party must quickly regain its sense of momentum and its faith in what this nation is capable of. Johnson resigned a few hours after King Charles III knighted and bestowed other honors on Johnson's devoted advisors and allies, breaking with political tradition for former prime ministers and raising accusations of cronyism from those who opposed the overthrown leader.